right there at half an hour. Very impressive. Loved it. Great stuff. I'm going to blow up my screen here. We're just going to cover a couple other things, and then we'll wrap this up, let everybody have their Saturday back, or we can answer some questions for a little bit. I wanted to just point out a couple things before we dive into the GoPro section here. Number one, Scott Becker is not Mr. Customer Service for the company. We have two Scotts going on here. So the other Scott is in charge of customer service. I'm sorry to say, I don't even know his last name. I've traded emails with him about, 10 times, but I don't know his last name, Art, if you can.
Yeah, Scott Simmons.
With that.
Scott Simmons.
Scott Simmons, thank you.
Yeah,
I knew it was there somewhere, but off the top of my head, I didn't have it. So Scott Becker is a rep in the field like I am, and we're both working together. And and also our host extraordinaire and monster man on the mindset. And then Scott Simmons is customer service. So I want to make sure that's clear. The other thing I want to point out, I just want to backtrack for a minute because Art's info was just incredible. He has blazed an amazing trail for us, but I want to be crystal clear on something about this business. When, you talk about being a winner and making serious income here, if you do the math, Art said, hey, I brought on 100 people here in the Nexus. And, what is that? 100 people in 3 months, 4 months? I mean, you can kind of do the math on that and figure out that's signing almost one a day. Well, if you're enrolling one person in a day, how many people do you need to prospect in a day? I think more than 2, right? So you really need to be clear on that, because if you want to do what Art did, you want to put 100 people in 3 months or 4 months or even 6 months, you got to do a lot more than 2 prospects a day. And that's really the point. Even if you do 20 in a day, are you going to get 1 out of the 20 to enroll? I mean, 5% out of 20 contacts, pretty incredible. If you contact 20 people and you get 20 people to look, I mean, you are amazing, and that never happened. So much more realistic to say, if I contact 20 people, I may get 10%, I may get 20%, maybe even 50% to look, but then you're talking about, signing up way higher percentage of the people who just look. So that's why we say, yeah, if you want to do 1 enrollment a day, 5 a week, if you're working Monday through Friday, you'd probably be better cranking a lot more than, 20 or 30 contacts in a day. You're going to need to do a lot more than that. So I just want to be clear on that. Now, on the flip side, I got to tell you, I've gotten on the phone with people, and in the first 5 contacts, they landed a whale. And boom, that person came in and went and enrolled 100 people in the next 2 weeks. Does that happen regularly? No. But is it possible? Yeah, I always say, if you're in the batter's box and you're swinging away, if you have a little bit of skill, there's a good chance you could park one. But you're still hoping, and you still need a lot of luck to do that. So, when I say go pro, I'm talking about going professional here. And that's really, Eric Worre's book. I'm just going to tell you straight up, go get the book. And if you're, like, wow, money's tight, can't even afford $10 on a book, well, let me hook you up right here on Amazon. There's 237 used ones. This is from last night for $1.24. Hopefully you can get one of those used ones for, $5 shipped to your door or whatever. Get the book, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Pro. That's the name of the game. Now, this is a great book. It's been, the network marketing go-to instructional handbook for many years. I think it's been almost 2 decades. But one thing it doesn't talk about in there is how to manage a mountain of contacts. So guess what we're going to talk about right now? Because you can get all that stuff out of the book, and you can rock and roll and crank it. You can take all of Art's info, and you can blast out to 1 million people. But if you don't know who you contacted, you don't know who you need to follow up with, oh, man, I dropped my phone in the lake, and I lost all my contacts, 1,000 names. What am I going to do? Here's your solution right here. Because the bottom line is, in our business, our most valuable asset of our entire networking business is our contacts. I tell people all the time, I told my daughter for years, you're not allowed to touch my phone because, this right here is worth a fortune to me.
Marketing page.
Sorry, you got a little background noise there. But when you have someone in your contacts, and then you lose your contacts, I mean, that could be cardiac arrest for you. So you want to make sure that you've got a way to back that up, and you've got to have that security that you have secured your contacts. The other thing is you got to change your mindset about contacts. And that was something that took me a long time to do. It was actually very difficult for me. I was fairly fortunate. When I started, I was in my early 20s, and I plugged in with a company that was going vertical. It was really incredible. Their growth was actually very similar now to what's going on with Nexus and the ride we're going to have here over the next couple of years. And so if you're plugged in here, boy, you got the same blessing that I had 30 years ago. You can almost just hit your wagon and hang on for dear life as this horse cranks it up from stop to 50 miles an hour down the track. But you can put in a handful of people and have this thing explode if you bring on the right kind of people. And that is one of the great keys about timing, about being in the right place at the right time. But if you want to be a marketing professional, you need to think about massive numbers of names. And I just say, put it in your head to put 10,000 names in your phone minimum. Now, you may say, that's crazy. There's no way I can do that. That's fine. You don't have to do that. But again, to go out and get a humongous retirement type income or a huge amount of income in this industry, you put the odds in your favor by shooting for the moon. Now, if you shoot for the moon and you only bonk your head on the ceiling or you get up into the clouds, that's still great. You can still make some amazing money. But I always like to play the odds, and that means put them in your favor and stack the deck so that you are in a position to win. As Art just gave you, really all the tools to do that. He just didn't put a number on that number of names. Now, you can take a zero off of that. If that's where you want to start, that's fine. There's no problem with that. Or you can even take 2 zeros off of that and say, you know what? I'm going to go and do 100 names. I'm going to get 100 names in my phone. I have a brand new guy, and he's not even on Facebook. And so where's he going to start? He's got to contact people. He's got to find ways to get out there and network and get plugged in. And I'm going to go through that here in just a minute. But you have to get it in your head that I'm going to get a ton of names in here. And then where are they coming from? And then how do I manage all these names? Because if you go and contact 100 names, 6 months from now, you can go back to those names and you can contact them again. And poof, it might be like a brand new opportunity for them. A lot of times people don't plug in on the first go round. I didn't. I mean, right here with Nexus, I found out about this a couple months ago. And then, I didn't, as Art already told you, I didn't plug in. And then somebody showed it to me differently. And all of a sudden, boom, there's a team of us that, swamped into this thing. It's a free service right there with Google Contacts. I got it right there at the top. Everybody's got it. If you're on an Android, even if you're not, you got Apple Contacts, whatever. I don't know what the iPhone contact manager is called. Doesn't matter. Get a contact manager and use it. Some people, might say, I don't want Google reading all my contacts, whatever. I've been using them for 15 years. Haven't had a problem. Crank it. If I drop my phone in the lake, it doesn't matter. If my kid breaks my phone accidentally, my daughter actually threw my phone. I know she went to take a picture of me. We were at a state park, and she went to hand it back to me, and she dropped it before it got into my hand, and it literally did the football bounce, and it went over the cliff. It dropped about 20 feet down on this treacherous ledge. I was never going to be able to get it. Yeah, I'm tattling on my daughter. But I didn't panic because I knew that my contacts were, number one, backed up on my desktop. So I didn't, they're all there. And number two, they were backed up in the cloud on the Google server, the cloud, that's what they call it. It's just a server farm where they got massive amounts of storage. So I didn't panic. I said, hey, if I get that phone back, great. I mean, these phones aren't cheap. Would have cost me hundreds of dollars to go get another one. But my most valuable asset was backed up. If you're a professional network, you're never saying, if I lose my phone, I'm dead meat. I just lost 10 years or worse of network and contacts. That's really the key. Now on Google Contacts, you can have unlimited in the number of contacts, which is amazing. You also have nearly unlimited amount of space for notes on that contact. What are you talking about? Notes? What are you talking about? Well, I'm going to show you that in a minute. That is so important right there. I'm going to give you an idea of what notes I take and how amazing it is that we can be on the go and take all these notes while we're mobile. I meet people all the time, going here, going there, and boom, it took me a long time to learn this lesson, but as soon as I get info on somebody, I put their info in my phone, and it takes me like 30 seconds to do it. Even with talk text today, I can say, hey, Art Phelps out of Long Island, and, here's his email and here's his cell phone. Boom. He started with that company back in 30 years ago, and I've got all his info stored right there in my phone, and I don't have to worry about, 2 hours later or whatever, a day later trying to remember what company was in, what did he say his goal was? It's a disaster. So, and you can add to these contacts over years. And yeah, you want to stay in touch with them. All the pro marketers out there have done this. We had Gloria McDonald on our call, just a few weeks ago. And because we talked about when did you start and, how long did she said, yeah, I didn't put 100 people into this in 10 days. I took the last 5 years, whatever it was, 4 or 5 years in building up my network to then be able to put 100 people in here in 10 days. That makes sense. I hope that is very clear, because that's what we're talking about when we build up our network over years. And then here's something else that's amazing with the Google Contacts, or again, any contact system. All you got to do is go into that search field, and you can find a whole group of people based on the keywords that you put in your notes. If I'm looking for everyone in my contacts that's a member of Nexus, all I got to do is type in Nexus in the search bar, and boom, it pops up right there. And I'll show you that here. Actually, you can see it right there. There's a search bar, and all I got to do is type in a company name. Now, this is my Google Contacts, and I got a million different categories and groups and all these things. I'm not going to go through all that. You kind of flesh that out. Just start using it, and then you can start learning how to group them into different things and all those different categories. But look, there's a mountain of info that you can collect here in Google Contacts, and the most important categories are not there. I'm going to tell you what they are right now. Want to know? I thought you might. Got to create a little curiosity and then take it away. No, you got to pay for it if you want to find out. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give you it all right here. I always put in the year I met. Always. It's amazing. 10 years. Scott and I can go back and we can say, yeah, we met in that company 10 years ago, 12 years. Yeah, 12 years ago. Pretty incredible. That's in the system right there. We don't have to guess, what company was I in when I met this guy, or what restaurant, or, what were we doing? What job were we working together? What's their spouse's name, or any other? What's their children's name? How old are their kids? That's a big deal when you can, connect with someone a year later and say, how is little Bobby? And, is he going to first grade? Is he playing football and that, whatever? I mean, it means a lot to people. We always say people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's what we're talking about here. So I hope that's helpful. What other companies have they worked? Now we're getting into the big deal. What's their website? Do they have a blog? Do they have a rep website? You might want to track it. It's always interesting to me when I go back to someone's website when they're with another company 6 months later, 2 years later, and their website is down. What does that tell you? Little education right there, what we call a clue where I come from. And then, and this will really get greedy. A lot of people are like, well, I can't ask them that. I've had people say that to me more than once. What's the largest downline you've ever built? what's the most people that you've ever recruited? I asked that of Art, and he was like, he went like this, and I got the torpedo right at me. I mean, I was like, whoa, 250 people in a previous company from a year or two ago. I mean, that told me right there, Art Phelps knows this business, and he is good at it. To bring that many people on in a short period of time, I said, he is a professional networker. He knows what he's doing. And that is really, and he told you that right on the call here. You didn't have to ask him. But when you get that info from someone, you find out if they are a serious networker, if they're a pro, if they know how to handle a monster organization, if they know how to scale up a big group and then create leaders. That's the next thing. How many downline you brought in 50 people in your previous company, and you had that turn into 500 people, 5,000 people, and that we've got other trainings. You've seen us go through the numbers, the power of 5. You get 5, they get 5 each, 25 get 5 each, 125 get 5 each, 625, 3125. I mean, we've gone through these numbers so many times. We just had it on the 3x10 matrix. You might have noticed it on there. Just going 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, 729. When you go through that, that is the beauty of the system if you get sheer duplication. But we always say to get 3 people who go and get 3, who get 3, and get that perfect exponential growth, you might have to bring on 30 people to find those 3. Now here in this business, it's so easy to bring people on. You might have to go get 60. You might have to go get 90, whatever. I'm just telling you, again, put the odds in your favor and get a lot more than what you may need. And then when you have, instead of 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, you may have 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 or something better than that. Scott and I are constantly, we're like, man, this thing is way easier to bring people. Art just told you, for half an hour, how easy it is to bring people into this thing. Gave you so many awesome scripts. And, I always tell people, if you can't say the wrong thing to the right people, you can't, you can give, this is back in the old days when we put people on paper, remember this, Art, a paper app, and we call it a distributor agreement. Oh my gosh, I'm sounding like a geezer here. But, we used to say, if you've got the right opportunity, you can give 5 distributor agreements to a monkey and he's going to come back with shades and a beamer. It's really, it is so ripe when you can sink your teeth into a great business and then just go and talk to people and have fun. And I always say, Art stole my thunder on this. You want to be laughing and having a good time. I always say, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And I learned that from one of my downlines who made $1 million under me in another company. And it was so true. It stuck with me. He told me that when I was in my 20s. And, here we are 30 years later. It's just incredible advice. And that really was the beginning of the Fun Marketing Group. And, we said, we're going to have fun because we're going to do it right. We're going to have a great time. No one is screaming at anybody here. We're all just trying to ramp this up, have a great time, change people's lives. It really is that simple and beautiful. So there's that search bar there at the top. You can go through so many different ways, find people that were with company X or find people that have been a top rep. If they are a top rep, then I put that in my notes. Okay. Now you can see down here, I got to move my little Zoom thingy out of the way. You can't even see that on your screen, but see that notes down there at the bottom? That's where I live. It's nice to have their birthday. Obviously, you want to have their email and their phone number. You can put their company in there if you want, but I live in the notes section. All this info right there goes in the notes. I'll put them right in there. I met Bruce Nelkin in 2022 in Nexus Rewards. Boom. That's it. Now, when I go and I search for Nexus, Bruce is coming up. There it is. If I want to contact everybody in the company, all I got to do is have Nexus in the notes. And then when I search for Nexus, there it is right there. Simple, quick and easy, most brilliant thing. And I get no credit for any of that right there because Google did it all. And but we have to take all that info and put it in that notes section. So I hope that's helpful for you. That gives you a little bit of the info. And we did all of this in an hour. You got a complete package on how to go through 1 million names and manage them all. I want to touch on a couple other things that I just have some screenshots of. I'm going to tee up a couple different documents here. Let me just take 1 second to pull them up. This is a prospect tracking form. Everybody asked me for this last week. I didn't have it ready. Wow, that doesn't look big at all on the screen. But guess what? We got the zoom function right here. So I'm going to zoom in, and hopefully everybody can see that. I just went like twice as big on the screen. All right. Hopefully everybody can see that. That is a spreadsheet. All right. Now I have this document. I'm just going to throw it in the chat box. If y'all want to swipe it, if it's helpful, great. If not, you can ignore it. Let me grab this for you, and then it might even make it easier for you to follow along. I just need to scroll down and grab it. I have a prospecting folder under my Nexus rewards folder, giving you a little secret here on how to track all this stuff. Now it's an XLS, where is that? Right here. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Now everybody can grab it out of the chat box. Again, this is just a generic thing that I put together, and I just threw some notes in here. When I call somebody up, and you don't have to be this detailed, and true story, I'm not. I gave a lot more detail on here with all these colors than I even use. I don't even have time for all this stuff. All right, here's the deal. I'm texting as many people a day as I can. And if they get back to me, great. If they don't, well, boo-hoo. If I remember, or if I have time, to put some orange on there and follow up with them. See, that's the F for follow up right there. Great. If I don't, okay, boo-hoo. But I want to constantly be exposing people, and I don't want anybody in my warm market to say to me, how come you didn't tell me about this when you got started? It's like the worst thing anyone can ever say to me. Shame on me. So it's like, get this info out to everyone as quickly as possible. How did I contact them? I called Scott, or I texted Andrew. I texted Steve. Steve got back to me right away. He signed up. He was in before I could even spin around and go, Steve, did you get my text? He took action right away. Immediately the next day, he had me on the phone with, a top rep, and boom, right there. He had a downline of hundreds of people overnight. So, that's the kind of action that you want. How's that going to happen? By you taking action in the same way. I always tell people, if you're on day 4 or 5 analyzing this thing, ask yourself, is that what I want my prospects to do? And it's kind of going to cost you money if you take that long analyzing it. You may want to, rethink that. I always say, if you're at the restaurant and you're ordering your meal and it's going to be, 20 or 30 bucks, you need to go home and think about it for a week. You really can make a quick decision on this. Art has given us a week, money back guarantee, 100% money back guarantee. I obviously no one's going to cancel when they plug in here and they see all the goodness and the ease of getting all that money back, so, and it's month to month. After that, it's just so consumer friendly. Nobody should have any heartburn over spending 32 bucks after they go through a few videos or watch a webcast, do a 3-way. They should be ready to roll. But hey, I just had one of my top reps this morning. I was driving back. I played Frisbee football this morning. I'm looking all nasty. Sorry. But I just had one of my top reps tell me, he decided Nexus isn't for him this morning. Okay, boo-hoo. He's focused on other things. So be it. He made a 5-figure check in a month under me 10 years ago. And, he's choosing not to plug in here. I don't know what else he's got going on, but that was his decision. So I just put a little X by his name, and keep on rocking. That's it. So that's how we go through the numbers. That's a little bit on how you can track. Hopefully that's helpful. There's a lot of other info over here. You know, did you send them to a website? Did you send them to right to a webcast? You know, hey, we're talking. It's Tuesday. It's 5 o'clock. Hey, we got a webcast in 3 hours. You want to hop on there and see what's going on? Great. Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, I would love to see a webcast. I'd love to see your recording, and you send them the recording right there. What'd you do to show them the plan? Webcast, recording. You got your choices right there. Make it real easy for you. You know, how did they see it? And then who'd you do a three-way with? I mean, right out of the gate. Scott and I were on the phone with Nick Skolsky right out of the gate. Nick had all the answers. It was awesome. And he was just going boom, 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 hitting everything. We got on the phone with Art, with a bunch of our people. We got on the phone, Scott and I. It was, you know, that's another great thing about having a partner where, you know, he's better than you. You can call him up, say, boom, be my three-way man. And there we go. We did all kinds of three-ways. Again, I just threw all these things in here just to give you an idea of how it can work. You can go through all my little codes here. You know, if they enrolled as a rep, you know, I put an E with what number they are for me, and then I can track them all the way down. I have a quick glance. I actually have a whole different page where I transfer everybody who's a rep, because, I mean, you know, we have 50 people enrolled. I can't keep up with all those names. I want them all on a dedicated form where I can just fly through them very quickly, email them all very quickly. They get their own status in my Google contacts so that I can email them quickly from a group list if I need to do that. So all that stuff is good. A lot of times I'll talk to someone who should go under one of my frontliners. That's what that asterisk means right there. Fred actually already knew Lorette, and so, you know, Fred needs to go sign up with Lorette, not with me. Or I'll tell him, you know, hey, here's Lorette's link, and go sign up under her. I always tell, you know, all my people, I'm never going to take someone from them, even though I'd love to get the $10 a month on their $22 a month. I would much rather have my frontliner making that money and making good money than me get, you know, a little pittance, a little bit more food instead of, you know, keeping that great relationship with my frontliner. Always think long-term on this business, and you'll be happy. By the way, you can insert, change whatever you want on the chart, take it. You can copy it, paste it right into a Google Sheets document, Google Docs, whatever. And then you can access it online from any internet device. You can even do that on a cell phone if you download the app. By the way, the more notes you take, just like I was saying in Google Contacts, see, I got a section over here on notes, but on Sheets, on Microsoft Excel, whatever you want to use, that section goes on for like 8 miles off the screen here. I had to cut it off because my paper ran out. But you can take notes for 50 feet to the right on these spreadsheets, and that's awesome. The more notes you take, the better your follow-up will be, and then you can always call them up 6 months later if you've tracked it. And this whole thing, I mean, I have pages of this from the past, and I can go right down the list. I remember their notes and what their circumstances were. I call them up. You know, wow, we haven't talked in 3 years. How's that business that you're doing? They're like, oh, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. Oh, okay. And then back to Art's question, my favorite 6 words, are you open to new business? And then they tell you yes or no. And if they say no, no problem at all. Art, you know, he said it, it's so funny. People say no, and then they're like, well, what are you doing? And then I'm not telling them nothing right there. I say yes, a double negative. I tell them, you just told me you're not open. Are you open? I put it right back on them. And I'm basically forcing them to say, okay, yeah, I am open to new business. No, but I just want to know what you're doing. Are you sure? You know, I'll play with that a little bit. I'll have fun with it. But, you know, and I might even say, I got the cure for cancer. You sure you don't want to hear about it? Or, you know, we just got this new tree that grows $1,000 bills. You really don't want to hear about it? I could do this all day. All right. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to give you one other thing, and then we'll open this up for questions or comments. I have a document, not a document. I have an app that is fantastic. Now, it only works on Microsoft Windows and Apple and iPhones. It does not work on Android. I don't know what happened. They had some disagreement with Android over something stupid. Very disappointing, but it does not work on my Android anymore. But this system is incredible, and I've been using it for 10 years. And it is automatic text. You type in just a few letters, and it can spit out all kinds of info. Go check this out. This is my gift to you today. For those of you that already have this, sorry, but that's what I'm sharing with everybody. I just put it in the chat box. I'm not getting paid on any of this. This is just a freebie. Like I said, I've been using it for 10 years. I paid for their premium service on this, but that Phrase Express program is fantastic. Man, I loved it when it was on my Android. This is the only time I'll ever say the iPhone has an advantage on the Android. I don't know what happened. It was like 2 years ago, and it clanked out on Android, and they said they weren't supporting it on Android. I was just like, no! But I use this thing all day, every day. I can just type in my initials, and it'll pop up my name, or I can type in the first few letters of my address, and it'll fill in the rest of my address. It's a dynamite little thing to have. Like I said, you can go grab that link, phraseexpress.com, if you're on a phone and not looking at the chat box or the video. But it's worth its weight in gold. I don't know how much it weighs, but it is a great system to have. So grab that and become, again, super fast professional networker. Speed's the name of the game here, and we want everybody running as fast as possible. I am gonna, Scott, you got anything you want to add here? I've been doing all the yapping. You've been a great host, but we haven't been able to be blessed by your brilliance today.
I want to give just about 2 minutes to the few people that have left on the call right now to bless you for sticking around. We've heard a lot of stuff and a lot of information, and that is awesome. Thank you to Art and John for being great presenters. But I want to give you a call to action, because if you just sit back and read your notes for the next week, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, then all you have is information. And information without action is not going to get you any money. You need to engage in IPA. You need to get IPA on the brain. What is IPA? Income producing activities. We've heard a lot of tips and information today about how to do this income producing activity. But if you don't get out there and do it, then it's not going to put any money in your pocket. So make sure you're engaging in internet producing or income producing activity. And I'm going to give you one thing to do this week. And it is the do me a favor close. Do me a favor close. Can you do me a favor is the greatest close in sales forever. And here's what I want you to do. Those 10 people, the 20 people, the 50 people, here's what I want you to do. I want you to call everyone in your warm market, if you've got anyone left, and say, I want to ask you to do me a favor. If I was going to call John, I say, hey, John, I need you to do me a favor. Can I count on you? What would you tell me, John?
I am in. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm working with this new company, and one of the trainers said, we've got this video that we're doing some market research on, and it's a 2-minute and 44-second video. I just need you to watch it for me and shoot me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I'm not going to turn in your name or your personal information. They just want me to get 50 eyes on this video this week. I need you to be one of my 50 people. Will you watch this 2-minute and 44-second video and just shoot me a thumbs up or a thumbs down? It would help me out a lot.
2 minutes? All right. Well, for you, I can squeeze 2 minutes in. Do me a favor.
I need you to watch this 2-minute and 44-second video. Now, for everyone to do that, and we're talking to people who are already in the business today, you need to spend $5 on NXR Builder. Go get NXR Builder, because that 2-minute and 44-second video is the best peak interest piece we have as a company. And I want you to use the do me a favor close and tell everyone. One of our company trainers said, I need to get 50 people to watch this video this week and just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You're going to get people to put eyes on the video. Eyes on the video is going to get people's interest peaked, And then we're going to three-way call them, and we're going to get people signed up in your business. Do me a favor. I need you to watch this 2-minute and 44-second video and just shoot me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And when you do that, I guarantee you your downline is going to grow and you're going to get people. Sign up. Hey, the NXR Builder, it's only $5, guys, and we need it. People ask, how are you and John having so much success at Nexus Rewards? NXR Builder is a big part of that. It still makes the cost $21.95 plus 5 is only $26.95. You get 3 people in, that more than covers your cost for the business and for NXR Builder. And it's going to open you up to that 2-minute and 44-second video. It's going to open you up to the 4-minute video and the 11-minute video. Get NXR Builder. Do me a favor close. Call everyone you know and say, hey, I've been told I got to get 50 people to put eyes on this video. Shoot me a thumbs up, thumbs down. That's my $1 million idea for today's training call. Appreciate everybody for staying on the call. Thank you, Art. Thank you, John. You guys always do a great job. Back to you, John.
Hey, thank you. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to allow everybody to unmute. If you raise your hand, then you will get to the first in line, or the front, near the front of the line. And we'll do it orderly that way. So raise your hand, please. And then you can unmute and ask your question. Greg Wilson, you are first in line, sir. How are you today?
Good, John. Hey, if your intent was to let everybody use that document, you set it as a PDF instead of an Excel file, so it can't be edited.
Yeah, all you got to do, actually, I did mean to do that because formatting goes crazy on everybody's different computer. And what I wanted people to be able to do is copy that, which you can do from a PDF, just copy that info and then paste it into your spreadsheet.
Okay, so you didn't want to provide a Google spreadsheet that everybody could use on their own. Okay, that's fine. Just curious.
If I gave a spreadsheet,
you can't edit the one you're putting out there. So, okay.
Yeah, if I gave you a spreadsheet, like I was saying, I've had different spreadsheets. A lot of people say mine won't read this format,
right.
and I mean it goes.
No problem. I didn't know what your
intent was. Such a pain in the butt. Yeah. No, good point. And again, if you don't know how to copy and paste from a PDF into a spreadsheet, Google it, or online search it, whatever you want to say, and that will solve your problem. Good point, though. Yeah, it's important that you can. Hey, I typed all that stuff up. YouTube it. There you go. Google's got us by the neck. They own YouTube. They own 85% of search. We're at their mercy.